You are now listening to the Fierce Kingz podcast.
All right, folks, we're back at it again. Episode 24. Guys, I'm Paul. I'm with the one and only Stu Fierce, and you are now listening to the Fierce Kingz podcast. Stu, what it do, baby?
Just trying to dodge this heat, man. I'll be honest with you. It is hot in Toronto.
You're in a Dodge Charger.
In a Dodge Charger. It is hot in Toronto, and I think actually across the country. As far as I know, I haven't seen heat like this in a long time.
Now, we got AC for the first time maybe like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Completely changes the game, first of all. Because, dude, there was a time, and I don't know, the last time you were at, my parents' house, when I lived at my parents' house, I was on the third floor of a fucking Toronto, multi-home family, right? Mm-hmm. I had to get one of those AC things that pop into the window.
Yeah.
And it collects water. And so the hotter the day, the water collects faster and faster. Yeah. And it doesn't run when it's full. So, man, you put that thing on at night. Yeah. By 1 a.m., you're waking up in a full schwitz and you got to dump out water. It's terrible. But now we got those AC motors running, and I'm actually fucking freezing right now.
Yeah. Well, because I know you're located in the basement. So the basement is generally the only sort of reprieve of all of this stuff. Because as you know, I grew up in a house that didn't have AC, and it still don't. Like, my folks still don't.
They didn't take the plunge?
Never did it. Never even got one of those window units. We were just strictly fan. all the way through, and you'd have it. You'd almost be licking the blades as it was going because you needed it so close to your face. But so when my wife and I were doing living in our apartment prior to buying our house, we had the same thing. We had the window unit, and some days it was great, some days it wasn't. Some days the water collects, some days it was dripping down the side of the house, and you were worried if it was just going to like corrode everything or something. And it was always a sort of a precarious installation process as well.
Oh, 100%.
You're just so many times you'd be like looking out, being like, this might like fall on somebody.
Oh, so. My sister, so she lives on floor 7 or so of some building in downtown Toronto. Mm-hmm. She asked me once, she's like, hey, you want to crank that AC, crank that Soldier Boy? and I go and I hit the knob, and it is teetering.
Yeah.
Like, the guys installed it, and he probably was just like, I would just suggest that, stay away from this unit.
Altogether.
They're just not... Whoever invented it was just like, I'm a genius, but I don't have no idea how to fucking get this into your house. It looks like it's ready to fall at any given time.
Well, it's like when Kramer does the installation for Jerry. He just puts it on, and then the blinds just go down to stop it.
Yeah,
like it's literally there's like no installation. There's no like drilling or brackets or anything. It's just
100 pounds too.
Because if that stuff falls, and especially if you're on something like the 7th floor, that's killing somebody. If it falls on that, they're dead.
That might be manslaughter.
Yeah, because I think it was when I was doing some work out in Hawaii, they have a lot of like coconut trees and stuff there, and apparently coconuts kill like a dozen people a year in Hawaii.
Holy
because
shit.
They're walking underneath it, and they're so hard, right? That shell is so hard. And if they fall, especially some of these trees are upwards of 30, 40 feet tall. If that falls on you, that coconut is cracking your coconut, and you go cocoa nuts.
Okay, so I'm seeing something here. The audience can't really see anything. Obviously, I only see you, but you're somewhere else, bud.
Yeah. Okay, so great. That is a great
I'm
observation.
Seeing some different artwork there.
Yeah. Because normally I'm upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's even so. We to get back to our point, prior to us moving in, we had an AC unit as well. Now we'd have the full on thing, same as you. But I guess our ducts are fucked up, or there's something with the system or whatever. It's not really getting upstairs. It's got a little bit, but not fully blasting. So I've got I got a fan in every fucking room, and I've got the AC cranked to -12 or something like that at this point. And it's like, and it's just not reaching up there. So I had to come down to the main floor.
That's where you just spend all your time now. Are you going to sleep down there too?
It's possible. I mean, because it's just like up there, as you said, you schwitz and you're just stickiest of the icky to that bed. Like you get up and it's just like trying to get out, and you're just like, fuck that. Because I remember back when I was at my folks' house, I would just sleep in the basement because I'm like, this is way too fucking much. You sleep in the basement and it's like a dungeon, so it just never gets warm actually.
Well, that's where I am right now, right? So like, so the basement is the only place that you can really avoid the heat, and so I got all of the like all the vents are closed because it'd be too cold, but it still leaks through, man. I'm fucking shivering timbers, man.
Do you have a sleeping setup down there?
No.
Not
And
even a couch that you can just.
To be honest, there's so many fucking spiders and centipedes, man. It's just you have to sleep with one eye open, man. And they don't really. You know how people are just terrified by centipedes?
Yeah.
I see them in my peripheral vision, and then I go and stomp them out. So I'm not like afraid of them, but fuck, man. Like I don't want that shit crawling on me when I'm sleeping. You know what I mean? You're not going to get a good night's sleep just thinking about all these creepy crawlies. I see some weird shit too. Like I'll see like a centipede caught in a spider web somewhere down here too. And I'm like, these guys they got their own beef that they're dealing with, you know, spider versus centipede. So like, I'm out of here.
Well, all that sort of shit though, because we were at work the other day and there was like a dead bird that was lying outside of where the kind of smoker's corner is. Mm-hmm. So I was out there having a ciggy, and a couple other people came out, and then we were just talking, and then some sort of seagull or something, some other bigger bird came up and started just chomping, and everybody was just like, "Oh my god, like that's crazy" or whatever. I'm just like, nature's crazy, bro.
And nature's a bitch, man.
Nature's a bitch, and then you die. So that's why we get high,
because you never know when you're gonna go.
You are now listening to the Fierce Kingz podcast.
Okay, so we're talking about the heat. It's definitely hot. So I want to touch on that one more because I checked it out today. I looked it up officially across Canada. Today was the hottest day in Canada's existence. Wow. 46.6 Celsius, man. That's
like with humidex and all that sort of stuff, I think, right?
I think in BC it was just 46.6 degrees Celsius. You know how we get hit with the like, oh, it's 29, but it feels like 38.
Yeah.
That didn't feel like 46. That was 46 points. It probably felt like 59 or something, like something insane.
Because I thought I looked it up just like I was just by chance it was something, and I knew it was hot. I thought I saw it somewhere. It said 36 or 38 or something like that. But who knows? Like maybe that was at a different time and it went up. But regardless, whether it feels like 46 or is 46, that's fucking like the face of the sun. It's like a fucking blowtorch.
So it's 37 now, and we're doing this. So 3 hours ago. So around noon. It must have been 46.
Have been 40.
Yeah, whatever. Insane. Fuck, man, that's insane. So Canada's just like, yo, no chance you're getting an igloo up here, pal. You know what I mean? But I like the heat. You know, like I like the AC. I like, someone mentioned the other day, like, hey, we should get some of those, what are they called? Like little like water sprinklers with a fan on it and keep them out on the patio. I'm like, I like that shit. I like going to Mexico. I like going to all these places.
But I mean, I think that there's sort of almost like a difference between the enjoyment of the heat and the sort of, I don't know, reprieve from it versus people who like legit like the heat and they sit outside and they bake and they're just sitting out there and like drinking hot tea and just being like, I'm enjoying all of this fucking heat, right? Like those dudes at the cafe in Mumbai or whatever, right? Like they sit out there and smoke darts and fucking drink hot ass tea and it's like 52 degrees and they're just
nice curry
popping a tamale, they're sweating and it's just like, Holy fuck, man. Where guys like us, I think there's always, it's always those certain elements that kind of dodge you from what you like. So it's like, I like the heat, but I love going inside to the AC. I love it when it's cold at night, but I put the warm blanket over top. Mm-hmm. You like the things that are sort of adjusting the, like, almost the exterior factor, where some people, like my old man coming from Australia, he like legit is like, unless it's like this, he's like, too cold. Too fucking cold. Yeah,
it's 34. And he's just like, it's fucking freezing out here.
It's freezing out here. He's from Queensland, so it's just like it's like the face of the sun.
Heat warning or not, I still went out there today, man. I was in the full sun. There was I was thinking to myself, and you know me, I have a little bit of a darker complexion, but not that dark, right? Mm-hmm. So I was out there for about an hour or two, absolutely no shade or anything like that. And I was thinking to myself, another half hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to be burning to fucking Rice Krispies, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so if you got a little bit more of a fair complexion, you're actually toasted strudel out there. Like you got 30 to 40, unless you're putting on that sunblock and you need sunblock on steroids, dude.
Yeah, you might actually just need steroids,
or you just do some juice. You know, just put it in your fucking in your butt, and then hit the sun.
You rub on some PEDs or some HGH on you, and you're getting D's and protected.
Yeah.
But no. So for me, I am a very fair-skinned guy. Got that sort of the more Scottish kind of UK skin versus my brother and even my sister. And obviously, you, as you said, have a little bit more of that olive tone. So for me, guys like this, I do try to go out in increments just to kind of get my skin sort of used to it, so it's not completely shaded from it all. But realistically, if I do go out, say if I went to a park for a beer or something like that, 1 hour I'm getting roasted.
Well, so I went to the driving range. There's this like train, this fucking golf facility, and like, I guess it's exercise. Of course, golf is athletic and all that stuff, but like it's very rare that you do some golf and you're like, wow, man, what a fucking workout. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, after that, and I was early, man. That was like 10 in the morning. After that, I was just dripping, dude. I was absolutely dripping.
Well, because what'd you bang out? 50, 100 balls? And
Hundo.
And that is swing after swing after swing. You're going to build up, man. Like that's going to get your motor running, and you're going to probably, by the end of it, you're going to drench, and you're just going to have to say, I'll get a sixer of Bud Lights, please.
100%. You know who I feel bad for? The people who, because there's people that absolutely love running, right? Mm-hmm. There's people that are addicted to running. I see this guy in our neighborhood. He's like this short guy, extremely lean. He's got like the glasses on, the cap is backwards. He's got like specific like running shoes. That's his fucking thing. You know what I mean? He's just like, I run all day. I'm doing 25K. I wonder if they're doing it on days like this and challenging themselves, or if are they tapping out?
No, I think that they're definitely doing it, because I think that there's just an element of that to it's same with cycling.
Bikers,
I think I don't know what they call it for runners, but for cycling they call it suffering. Like it's kind of like a pain for pleasure thing. So the more that you suffer is the better the better the ride is. So their legs are burning.
More hills.
They're dripping. Their calves are just on fire. And it must be the same for runners, where they're dripping so fucking hard. They're feeling just those LBs get shredded. And they're like, they get home and they have a fucking matcha smoothie or whatever the hell. And they're like, this was the best workout of my entire fucking life.
Yeah, it probably was. Tell you what, I'll pass.
Pass.
Yeah, pass that tin. Did you run today? Did you work out today? Because I know you're going back into working out.
I actually did. Now,
you're a maniac.
I'm not like those guys. So, I lasted about a half an hour at a relatively leisure pace, like quite a leisure pace, for the few lunges, couple push-ups, and then
cheeseburger.
And then just fucking got back inside, fired up that fucking shower like it was
going out of style.
Freeze! Like I went to like almost. It was basically.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't even hit like you didn't even make it to the. Did you make it to the middle? Did you go 50-50 blue, 50-50 red?
No, so we have the double knob. So I cranked up the cold knob, and then for the hot knob, you know when you're mapping out the last couple ounces on the scale when you get one of those old school scales.
It's a quick touch.
It's a quick flick. You know that quick flick?
Not too hard.
Not too hard, and so it just got so it's like you're just like you don't feel like a psychopath having a fucking cold shower.
Yeah, for sure. I don't rate cold showers, man.
I used to. So for a while, I was into this guy named Wim Hof. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Yes, the ice bath man.
The ice bath man. So he's one of the few guys to not only climb Everest, he climbed it several times and twice, I believe, in underwear.
What about his feet?
Boots. But his thing is that he believes that the cold. I think he's from
Norway or something.
Yeah, some Scandinavian country or something like that. Might live in fucking Iceland or some shit, right?
Makes sense.
But he has this theory that the cold is the solution to all of your body's ailments.
Oh,
where a lot of people believe it's actually the heat. So using heat pads or...
I bet you he loves a sauna, though.
I mean, I'd have to do a little bit more research on his leisurely activities, but I do know that he's always in fucking freezing cold lakes and waters. And there's a thing you could do a retreat. And so he does these breathing exercises that I used to do before hockey and things like that. That build up your lung capacity, which I should start doing again because I think I've definitely decreased that, and I can tell that in my runs. You can definitely he has this retreat where you can definitely go and do these things that he does. So you do there's a day of doing breathing exercises with him. Then there's a cold lake jump that you do a cliff jump into this frozen lake. Yeah, that I guess he chips out with a fucking stake or something like that, or one of those shovel things, and then you do a crazy, it's obviously nothing like Everest, but it's some sort of mountainous alpine type mountain climb, naked or something like that. And it's a
Scandinavian thing.
It's definitely a Scandinavian thing, but
have a pickled herring.
Yeah, or I don't even know what the fuck these guys eat. You know, I bet
you he drinks a whole bunch of beers.
You'd wonder. I think because I think he's fucking 70 now, or even even older, and he still does this shit. I think he's he's probably
maybe he's right. Maybe the ice cold is making him. What if a fucking ice bath is the solution to immortality?
Could be. Because I think it shocks your system, it gets your sensors going, and all this sort of shit, right?
Now, last question here. I just want to end it here. Mm-hmm. If an ice bath a day, the style that he does it, could make you live forever, would you do it?
I would take the hottest fucking bath.
You want to go right now? You're done.
You're done.
You're going for another run out there in the 46, and you're Xing out.
And then you put some boiling hot water in that tub, and you just dive right in.
100%. That's the way to do it. So I've known you for a pretty long time, I'd say, right? Probably the majority of my life, outside of some of those early years, which you don't even really remember anyways, so who cares? And I've seen you in some precarious situations, like some borderline shocking even, right? And you make it out just fine, right? And so I just wanted to ask you, actually, as a person, do you like danger?
Yes.
No, but hold on. But do you wake up and you're like, what is something, where can I get a hit of danger today?
Somewhat. I don't know if it's necessary that I look for danger or I search for danger, but it just finds me and I just like it. There's the idea of doing something that you're like, this could go sideways.
And I'm going to do it.
And I'm going to do it. And I don't know.
Sorry.
No. I was just going to say there must be something in my DNA and in lots of people's DNA. I think we know other guys like this too that are some of our friends as well, but probably, especially the extreme guys who are, squirrel suit flying through the mountains.
Those guys love danger. They're looking for danger.
They're looking for danger, and they're what do you say, like adrenaline junkies or whatever.
If danger was just a guy, you're not looking for him, but he finds you. Does danger just want to chill with you?
Yeah, danger wants to hang out.
Stu, what are you saying? Just showing. All right, well, I'm dangerous, but I'd like to let's watch the Leaf game today, and who knows, maybe we get into some trouble.
Exactly, it's Danger Austin Powers. Danger's
your first name.
No, it's true because I think it's one of those things as well. It's more. It's because of this search or lack thereof. I don't shy from danger. You know what I mean? Especially when you're saying to yourself, it's something could go sideways, or this is something that might not be fully safe. You're like, kind of just fuck it, give it a go and see how it happens. And I think that this is kind of case in point of what's happening in society right now, that despite how awful the sort of pandemic has been for families and, victims of it and all that sort of stuff, it's sort of created also a sort of a state of fear where I think people not only are they scared of that, and obviously some people should be, but I think that that's going to have a ripple effect into everything else in life, where people are going to be like, they just don't want danger anywhere.
You got to have a little bit of danger, though.
But even life in society in general is dangerous, just as a general rule.
Well, leaving your house is pretty dangerous. Staying in your house is very dangerous, too.
Yeah, anything can kind of happen when you look at it like that. You could leave your house and get hit by a bus. You could stay in your house and there could be a B&E.
You can stay in your house and the bus hits your house.
Yeah, I think we know a guy who drove into a house.
I wonder if the folks inside were okay. I think they were okay.
I think
that was dangerous.
I think the car was the thing that got the most fucked up because the guy stuffed his nails and the house was obviously fine.
Do you think if there was like a bag with different
like bingo
elements,
like they're bingo. They're rolling out the bingo balls.
And you have jealousy, you have fear, you have danger, and like someone got danger, would they be like, okay, I can deal with this? Or would they, most people I'm talking about, not you, would be like, you know what, and someone said, hey, listen, you can have a second spin. Do you think most people would be like, I'm taking that fucking second spin? Or do you think, I think
9 out of 10 are going,
I don't want danger. Get danger out.
I don't want, get it out of the equation, because I'll take a risk somewhere else. Where the irony of all that is that once you move danger out of the equation, you're in effect becoming risk adverse. You're saying to yourself, I don't want there to be any sort of potential of something being able to go wrong. But little do you know, there's a potential for something to go wrong in every situation in your life.
That's very true.
Like, no matter how much you try to avoid it and things like that, something can always happen.
Do you think that there's people that live a life of avoiding danger only to find the most danger ever?
Yeah, I know that firsthand. That there's a person, in my family who is very, very religious and very, pious from that perspective, sure. and very, very sort of indebted to the church, and that's, obviously their decision, only to get cancer, and it's like, you did everything right from what we consider, a sort of no drinking, no smoking, no drugs, no nothing, eating well.
Okay, yeah.
Doing that,
like danger. So in this situation, be like, I'm gonna live a, let's call it, clean life.
clean life. Like even this particular person wouldn't even take
risks.
Wouldn't get in a car that would go on the highway.
Oh, that's straight up avoiding danger.
Exactly. Would not even touch
Plane?
No, not a chance. Not even a bicycle. Take if there was any sort of transportation that needed to happen, longer distance than going back and forth from friends or the church or whatever, was a train. When that's can be dangerous, but in comparison to other stuff, it's big and sturdy and on tracks and regulated and all this sort of stuff. So that would be the biggest danger that this person I've ever seen, where I would like to be on the train strapped to the front of it.
You're with the conductor, you know what I mean? And he's just saying like, what do you think? Should I make the left? I just got the comm. There might be a potential for derailing, but we'll get to the place sooner. And you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. You're saying, you know what? Just pull the lever, and let's see if we make it on the tracks or off the tracks.
Vans off the track?
And then your body's on the wall?
Oh. That's what I'm talking about. That's a rebrand, buddy.
But then I guess the question for you is then where do you lie? You're somewhere in the middle. You're not really totally risk adverse, but you're going to be more, I would say, rational about certain decisions.
For sure, but I definitely it just depends what kind, right? It just depends what kind of situation that we're in. So you're right, more rational, but I definitely take risk. Like when I talk to most people and talk to especially my family, and they say, why would you do that? It's because the reward is so much, I want the reward. Now, I'm not going to go and flip it all the way and take all the risk, right? Mm-hmm. But there's an element I'm going to take in most things I do if the reward is good enough.
Right.
Some people don't do that at all.
Yeah.
Some people very close to me, in my family and friends, just like, they're like, why would I ever do something like that and risk losing it all? Right. How many times have you heard that? And risk losing it all? Well, fuck, man. That's what you take. Now, from a danger perspective, yeah, man. I'm 34 now. If you said, hey, listen, you haven't skateboarded in 6 years, why don't you go try to kick flip off this 10 stair, right? Mm-hmm. Probably not the best decision for me to make because I think I might get seriously fucked up. And there is an element of danger there and high risk. Reward, very, very small. You know what I mean? Well, if I landed first try and someone captures it on camera, best believe I'm going to let the whole world know about it. But the chances are slim.
And the chances are slim. And also, even if the person catches this glorious trick,
no one will care.
You're not getting a sponsorship.
Yeah, Vans off the fucking rails is sending me,
Vans off the team.
Off the team. Yeah. Like, who is this old fart? Go and retire about.
Yeah. So basically, I guess the thing is there is no escaping fate. No matter how much you want to be risk adverse, you have to be prepared that a shitstorm is coming, and it always comes, and it comes hard.
Yeah, man. And it's just makes sense to be friends with danger.
Yeah, you're better off being friends with Danger Powers than you are to dodge his texts.
100%. That's when you see typing, don't fucking miss out on that reply,
Would you rather? Would you rather?
All right. Would you rather? Check this one out. So, had a baby, a lot of TV time. Euros are on, right? Mm-hmm. We're watching Ted Lasso, pretty funny show. What else is going on? Just downtime, right? There's lots of downtime. I'm watching a lot of TV. So obviously AMC, shout out to AMC channel 1339, Bell 5 TV, if any of you guys want to fucking sponsor the show. You know what I'm saying? Jurassic Park was on.
Yep. Classic.
And then Planet of the Apes was on. Not the like the original one, like, you know, some of the new ones with like Caesar.
And not Planet of the Bapes with Lil Wayne.
Exactly. I don't even know what that is, but I have to check it out probably this weekend.
I don't think it exists, but
okay.
you know.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you this question. If you had to live through one of those movies and like their storylines, which one would it be? And so I guess it's, you know, you're at Jurassic Park, you're like, this is so fucking cool, and then
Hell breaks loose.
You know, run for the gate. You know, Tyrannosaurus Rex, everything.
Yeah.
You see your homies getting murked. It's fucking horrifying. Velociraptors, that dinosaur that like shoots loogies at you and then fucks you up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Get hit by a brontosaurus. Just bad times, scary times. Okay, so that's one. Or two, Planet of the Apes. It's like, I guess it's like basically an apocalypse where all the orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees of the world have become, you know, pretty fucking smart. Can use guns and build communities and build a marketplace and fucking sell goods and services and kind of want to make you a fucking slave. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so I think that latter half point is what dictates my answer. And that's, I would go for Jurassic Park because I think you could still outsmart the dinosaurs. Where I do think that the apes, they're not too disconnected from us. So they got that smart. They got the intelligence, and they are fucking strong.
Well, so that's one thing I wanted to mention is, forget about the gorillas, which obviously could literally rip you into two pieces just like this, right?
Yeah.
And probably the orangutan. You've seen those guys? Fuck, man. They can just smash coconuts with their fists, right?
Yeah.
But the chimpanzee, I don't know if you know this, they're known to be like, you know, we always see videos of like a chimpanzee in a fucking diaper and a pacifier and like, hey, this is, you know, Bobo the chimpanzee or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They have fucking claws, man. They'll rip your eyeballs out in one swipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think the thing with the chimpanzees is, I forget who the author is, but there's a book. It's called The Last Chimpanzee, and so basically, I read it years and years ago, but basically the premise of it is that the chimpanzee was the last primate before we developed into Homo erectus.
Got it.
So they are more or less human from that perspective, as smart as they can be, but still with the primate strength and fearlessness and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
terrifying.
You know, you hear it on Joe Rogan all the time when he's talking about, you know, these things. If you put up fucking Mike Tyson against a goddamn chimpanzee, the chimpanzee's still gonna rip his fucking head off.
Oh, right.
Because they're just so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
So I think, and granted, you know, you'd really have to do some of the history of it all, and you know, if the movie's any indication, obviously these, you know, dinosaurs kind of know what's going on. But I think a true thing outside of obviously their strength and speed and size and stuff like that, like, I think if you were there, you could manage to like get to a bunker and hide out. Just
wait it out a bit.
And they just...
Yeah, you can hear him coming, right? Oh, he's outside again.
Yeah, exactly. Where like those fucking chimpanzees or monkeys or orangutans will be just swinging off the trees and then come up behind you and pull your fucking eyes out of its socket and then rip it out your ass.
And then before you know it, you know, they've learned how to hack into the bunker like computers and stuff like that. And
next thing you know, they're wearing glasses and they got briefcases.
Yeah, they have fucking lab coats on and they're doing experiments on you and you're covered in makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, let's see if this is really worth it for Sephora.
Yeah. Oh my Lord, man! I think you're right.
But the thing is, do you think that chimpanzees would eventually say, after years and years of them dominating human society, would they eventually start coalitions to say stop human testing? Because we got to stop animal testing on animal stuff, right? Would they say, listen, the makeup is good, Bobo looks great, let's let's stop testing on Todd over here. He's had enough.
I think, and it might take a long time, but I think after hundreds of years of, chimpanzee civilization, that perhaps there are subgroups of people that, sympathize for humans.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, you know what? Give these guys a break. They're humans. Human lives matter.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think that, like, realistically, if any other species took over the world, whether it be these incredibly smart chimpanzees or alien races or whatever, I think after a while they'd realize that they're like, wow, human beings are pathetic and always kind of have been pathetic, and I don't know how they survived this long, and so let's cut them some slack, because I'm sure that these aliens have come here before and been like, this is kind of a zoo there anyway. We're taking off.
Yeah. Have you been in Manhattan? It's a disaster. Okay, let's flip it. Check this out.
Go.
Forget about the chimpanzees in lab coats, velociraptors in lab coats.
Right.
So you're at Jurassic Park. You're thinking to yourself, let's just go to this bunker, no problem, right? Little did you know that these were fucking genetically engineered dinosaurs that are extremely smart.
They're like Einstein. You've got like an Einstein velociraptor. He's got the hair, the mustache, and as you get to the bunker, you just shut it all up, and he just puts in his claw.
Yeah,
and it does the claw scan. And he walks in and he's got a fucking German accent or whatever.
Yeah, and he has his morning coffee. You know?
He's like, time to die.
He's like, this is going to be a tasty experiment.
Yeah, no, I think, that would obviously be fucking terrifying as shit.
Like a pack of velociraptors, they don't fuck you up. They just kidnap you and start torturing you. And, they're pulling out little instruments. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude, that'd be insane. Honestly, might have to pitch that to Hollywood.
Yeah, I bet if you went up to fucking Stefan Spielbergo and were like, listen, I got a twist on a classic that you made, so you might want to listen up. Yeah.
Was that him?
I think it was.
Fuck, man, he must be a billionaire.
Has to be, if not like $900 million or something. Like he has
the dopest movies
outside of some of the big ones, which like James Cameron did. So I think James Cameron did like Titanic and like Avatar or whatever. Those are like two of the highest grossing. I think almost everything is Spielberg. All of Indiana Jones. All Jumanji.
Spielberg was Jumanji?
I'm positive. Unless I'm going fucking crazy, but I'm positive. You got it? Are you Jamie?
But look, I'm looking at some titles right now.
Yeah.
Like these aren't even like heavy hitters, but like Lincoln, War Horse, The Adventures of Tintin, War of the Worlds. You know what I mean? So like
those are new, but those are even newer. But
Minority Report. Yeah.
He was king of the retro. 80s, 90s. True. 80s, 90s. There's no one touching Spielberg.
Fuck, man. Yeah, we might have to pitch him this new Jurassic universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, we could do Jurassic Mirror universe.
Oh, like Black Mirror, but with Jurassic Park?
Or like, how in Star Trek they have there's like the normal canon, and then they have the Mirrorverse or something where it's like shit's all kind of crazy. It's just like a different timeline.
Or like it's like what happened after the events of Jurassic Park at a certain point, which is, like we discussed, it was in fact the T-Rex. Like, he didn't kill anybody, but they kidnapped the humans, and they're like, listen, you guys work for us now. This is our island.
Or they subdued all of the ones that weren't killed or, washed ashore or whatever, all the dinosaurs that weren't killed or washed ashore. And then they do some more tests on them. And as you said, like genetically modify them to being like super smart.
Or in addition to that, they steal their credit cards and buy some fresh new skins in Fortnite.
They just fucking steal their credit card and hit fucking
Brazzers.
Foot Locker.
Yeah, they just get some fresh new kicks, size 13.
Size 1300?
Size 1300 for my boys.
Listen, this Brontosaurus needs a 40,000.
He's like a 40K Jordan 5.
Imagine you saw a Brontosaurus with J7s on.
Dunking.
Just fucking a Dunkosaurus?
Imagine like Dunkosaurus Rex just straight up dunking on a volcano.
He's got a James jersey on and a fucking chains and shit.
He's the GOAT. See, I'm telling you, this is a great spin.
Yeah, I think you'd have to go Disney. Pure animated.
100%. All right, well, listen, who owns Disney right now? It's not Walt. But listen, if Walt, you're listening to the Fierce Kingz podcast, fucking call us up ASAP because we got mad sequels. All right, rate me. Look, Stu. We do these rate me's and we just get so passionate that sometimes the time flies. Okay, so today on Rate Me, let's keep it crispy Kreme. Okay, so check it out. Rate these sandwiches. I know you love sandwiches. I could live off sandwiches my whole life. Easy.
Same.
So these are just a few of many that are obviously heavy hitters, but I think everybody who's listening has had all three at least once in their life, and if not, millions. So, number one, the classic club sandwich. Okay. The grilled cheese sandwich. And the tuna salad sandwich.
Fuck. These are all really good, and so, woof. I think for me, and I'll be able to get down into it because I know what I'm thinking about diner stops. If I go into diner stops, I'm seeing them on the menu.
Sure.
I'm going Dope Club, Dees, tuna, whack, grilled cheese. I'm not a grilled cheeser. I don't know. There's something when mom cooks it and they got a nice soup on the side.
You don't like that? Or do you like that?
I did that, so not bad, but it's not. It's never. I will never go do it myself.
Really?
I will never make a grilled cheese myself.
So sometimes at the crib, or dinner's at 6, it's 3:30, and we'll do a quick grilled cheese at the cribbo. But I would never order a grilled cheese at a restaurant.
And I think that's your answer. Because you will, if you're at a nice diner and you see the classic club with frites.
You're with mayo in and out? Yeah, there's no chance.
And
and plus, there's fancy club sandwiches too that are just like everything that you love about a club sandwich, plus avocado, plus I don't know, some other hot item, right? Or like a twist, right?
Yeah, and that sort of stuff
club.
that you can exactly. And then for the tuna, for me especially, back in the days of yore, which maybe we'll have to bring back as our old age is catching up to us. But when I was getting pumps on, I loved a tuna salad sandwich because it was just all protein, a bit of those carbs to get you yoked up. And if you were dumbing, you put in 2 cans.
2 can Samuel.
Cut up some celery.
60 grams of Pro-Spro.
You just it was fuel. It was straight up fuel. I never look at a grilled cheese and I'm like damn. I wanna lick that. You know what I mean? When I look at it sometimes, and someone if you're over at Buddy's house, you're over at Cottage, or once upon a time prior to the their deceased nature, grandmas or something, and they're like, I'm gonna fire you up a grilled cheese. You're like, yeah, for sure. But at home, I won't cop necessarily Kraft single slices and a bunch of Wonder Bread to go for it. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And so have you ever been to Bread and Roses, Blue West Village?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my mom's jam.
Fuck, man, it's a splizzy splash, and it's because they make their own bread, and bread is so fucking good. So over COVID, My wife and I have been like going there for lunch sometimes. Like I go and pick up a sandwich, and I've been going all tuna salad, like the tuna sandwich there. They put cheese on it, lettuce, tomato, salt and pepper, mayo, you know, a little bit of mustard. You walk out there and you're just fucking splashing. It's a jam. For me, the club sandwich is like, that's a heavy hitter item right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a top item at most pubs and diners, right?
I would probably have to
Is it the most popular sandwich in the world?
It might be. It might be. And it's odd for me because, you know, like the old Groucho thing is like I would never want to be a part of a club that would have me as a member, you know? And what club is this club making this sandwich, right? But no, in all seriousness, I think that it must be, like outside, if you're at pub, diner, you know, that sort of thing, outside of burger, you know, maybe here in Canada,
smoked
poutine.
Meat sandwiches are kind of big. I don't know.
Kind of big, but I don't know. I'd say behind burger.
Right, it's burger,
club. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe
chicken sandwich. Not really. Eh?
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be. It have to be at least top 5, if not top 3.
Yeah, it might be a top 3 sandwich. I know there's like Reubens and stuff like that, but the problem with those is that those are less.
But that's not an everydayer.
No, you don't Rube every day. You could club every day.
You could club every day, and I love Reubens. And
me too.
Pastrami and any of the cured salty meats. I'll fucks. But it's like I think like legit because there's something also when you get a club. It's got the chicken, it's got the fucking lettuce, tomato, this and that, double decker, and you're kind of like, I'm sort of being healthy.
Yeah, kind of.
Versus when you see, kind of, but you see a grilled cheeser come out, you're like, that thing has been dipped in butter and oil and literally all cheese and no sort of protein or substance to it, and don't give me any of that fancy grilled cheese stuff.
Okay,
that to me is like the craft beer of sandwiches.
Okay, so literally, I was waiting for you to finish so that I could say that. You ever watch that show? Diners, Driving, and Dives. You know,
it's Flavor Town.
It's Flavor Town. Well, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes just like, and we're gonna have the best fucking quadruple grilled cheese in town, and they're making it and they're putting in 4 different types of cheese on this big bread, and then they cut it open, it's melting. I'm like, I would never fucking order that shit at a restaurant. I would never order that. So
it looks fucking disgusting.
The grilled cheese for me, that's a home experience. Let's do a quick. Let's put a couple slices on some bread, tie us over to dinner.
Yeah, that's the sort of the late lunch, early afternoon snack with a grilled cheeser and a tomato soup. You maybe get some dunking.
You dunk hard.
And you're like, yeah, it's dunk hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so notable mentions here. I just remembered a submarine sandwich. 12-inch assorted.
Well, you know that's going to be my number 1 of all time. So
yeah, so that actually might. Now I just realized, like, if that's considered a sandwich, that's probably the most famous one, right?
But I mean, we need to get into the criteria of what a sandwich truly is.
There's no time for that, man. we should do a food episode. Absolutely, everything is for food. We could just talk about shit we ate.
We could do a food episode. We could do a food that dogs should eat episode. A food that aliens might eat. And really get into a niche market of the podcast world.
Yeah, and then what happens from a fecal perspective after you eat these.
From canines to the extraterrestrials, what do their bowel situations look like after a grilled cheese, after a hot dog, after a fucking hamburger? Because maybe only humans can process this shit.
Dude. And those are basically the themes of the podcast they keep saying, man.
Yeah, and all those sandwiches are the 3 major food groups.
Oh, yeah, and animals. We talk a lot about animals, too. Like, we didn't talk about dogs, so we'll save that for one whole episode, too, man. That's our life, man. This is what we do. All right, club sandwich, tuna sandwich, grilled cheese. Boom.
Boom. Fierce.
All right, folks. So that is the end of episode 24 of the Fierce Kingz podcast. Folks, if you want to write in, if you want to say hello, if you want to send us submissions for you, Rod, or any of the themes that we talked about, all you got to do is send an email to fiercekingz@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And with that, Stu, is there anything that you would like to tell the audience?
Fuck smart velociraptors, and now you are not listening to the Fierce Kingz podcast.